Hold on to your seats because what you're about to witness is absolutely jaw-dropping. We've got not one, but two explosive domestic violence cases that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about family dynamics and the justice system. First up, we have Amber Nicole Costa, a new mother caught in a web of alcohol addiction, violence, and a custody battle that's about to get messy. She's been sitting in jail for 37 days unable to make bond, while her infant daughter is being cared for by the father's grandmother. But here's where it gets wild. The father, Lonnie King, admits he knew she had drinking problems from day one, but still decided to have a baby with her while they were living in a hotel. And just when you think that's shocking enough, we've got case number 2 featuring Taj Brandon Weto, a 27-year-old man who can't stop attacking his own family members. 3 separate incidents, same location, and he just keeps going back for more. The judge is about to lose it, and trust me, you do not want to miss her reaction. These cases expose the harsh realities of domestic violence, poor decision-making, and what happens when the court system has to deal with repeat offenders who just won't learn. Buckle up because this courtroom drama is about to get real.
Is this Ms. Costa?
It is, Your Honor.
Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. You're before the court on 2024 CR 10593, Amber Nicole Costa, battery family violence count 1, battery count 2, simple battery family violence count 3, and simple battery count 4. You're represented by the law firm of Lister Holton Dennis. Mr. Taylor, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Your Honor, after discussing her situation, we wish to enter a guilty plea. However, we would like to be heard on sentencing because this is a complicated domestic violence situation.
All right. By entering a plea of guilty to count 1, counts 2, 3, and 4 will merge. You give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. You understand all of these things, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor. On or about December the 7th of 2024, Officer R. Adams, Adames, was dispatched to 6358 Old Dixie Road, room 342, Clayton County, Georgia, in reference to a disturbance. During his investigation, it was determined that the defendant did commit the act of battery family violence and that the defendant intentionally punched the victim, Mr. Lonnie King, with her right hand on the right side of his mouth, causing visible bodily harm.
Now this is where things get absolutely insane. The victim, Lonnie King, is about to spill the tea, and honey, it is scalding. Notice how the prosecution laid out the basic facts. She punched him in the mouth, caused visible injuries. They share a child together. Sounds straightforward, right? Wrong? What Mr. King is about to reveal will show you just how messy this situation really is. We're talking alcohol addiction during pregnancy, a newborn baby caught in the crossfire, and a pattern of violence that's been brewing for months. The judge has no idea what she's about to hear, but buckle up because this victim impact statement is going to change everything. Pay close attention to his words because this isn't just about one punch. This is about a toxic relationship that should have ended long before an innocent baby got involved.
That was observed by the officer. Officer Adams observed the victim's upper and lower lips were bruised, and he also observed that the victim was bleeding from his upper lip. The defendant and the victim do share a child together. Your Honor, those are the pertinent facts of the case. The state's offer for count 1 is 12 months probation, a fine of $500. The defendant is to complete 40 hours of community service, to complete the family violence intervention program, and to have no contact with the victim. And also, Your Honor, the victim is on the call and he would like to give a victim impact statement.
All right. Mr. King, unmute, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, tell me what's going on.
Let me start here. The problem is she's alcoholic. That's the problem.
You know, due to why she was pregnant. It's been several cases I tried to address Miss Costa on the alcohol when she was pregnant with my daughter Embriella, and you know we'll get into it. I mean, it'll be strenuous, you know, and I didn't want to like cause a miscarriage and then, so I really just address it like that, you know, and I have to work all the time too, you know. Actually, I have to work 10 hours a day. Actually, some days sometimes 7 days a week. So she has been drinking when I heard the DQ. And I wanted to cut the music down because the music was loud, you know. And she refused to, and that went back and forth. And then next thing you know, she grabbed my daughter.
Stop everything. Did you just hear what I heard? This man just casually dropped the most disturbing details, like it's nothing. She was drinking alcohol while pregnant with their daughter, grabbed their infant baby, and used her as a shield while attacking him. This is beyond domestic violence, this is child endangerment. And here's the kicker, he admits this has happened multiple times before, but somehow he thought having a baby would fix things. The audacity. Notice how he mentions working 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, but then comes home to chaos. This woman was allegedly trying to manipulate the police by claiming he attacked her, all while hiding alcohol from the officers. This case just went from bad to absolutely horrifying. What kind of person uses their 1-month-old baby as a weapon in a domestic dispute?
It came and hit me in the mouth. Okay, so then she tried to proceed to come at me again, which this doesn't happen before on several occasions. Just I didn't have a child with her, you know, and she kept trying to call, so I tried to get her back. So I guess she didn't like the fact that I told her to cut the music down. So she said she's gonna call the police on me and say I've been jumping on her, you know. So when the police get there, you know, they see my mouth busted up, my mouth red, and by that time she put my daughter back in the bassinet. But she went open the door for them because she's trying to hide alcohol. You know, she's trying to hide the alcohol. And I had just actually just got off work at that time. I hadn't been home at least about like an hour and a half or 2 hours. So I was very tired. She wouldn't let them in. You know, I tried to open the door and let the police in, you know, because I didn't have nothing to hide, because I knew what happened. And she knocked me out the way, slammed the door back. So they was about to go get the door open and find the shit up and open it. You know, then she tell them that I did something to her walking out the door, you know. And I really need her to get some help. I don't want to raise my daughter like that around. I talked to her before she had Riella. My daughter, I told her, you gotta get to.
So, Mr. King, how long has Miss Costa had this drinking problem? Okay, Mr. King is gone. Mr. King?
Okay, hold back. Yes.
How long has Miss Costa had a drinking problem?
Man, since I met her.
Okay, so she's had a drinking problem since you met her, but you thought it was a good idea to have a baby.
I didn't think, you know what, to be honest with you, she was on birth control, and I didn't think I could have any kids.
Oh my God, Mr. King, I cannot. Have we not, like, really?
I did.
Do you have a working penis, sir?
Oh my God, did this judge just destroy this man with facts and logic? I am living for this judicial reality check. She literally asked him, do you have a working penis? Sir, I'm dead. This judge is not playing games, and she's calling out the absolute stupidity of this situation. Think about what just happened. This man knew she was an alcoholic from day one, broke up with her, got back together thinking she had changed, and then acted surprised when nothing changed. The judge is absolutely right. Neither of these people should be parents. She's breaking down the financial reality. They're living in a hotel. He's working 10 hours a day just to survive. She's unemployed with a drinking problem, and now there's an innocent baby depending on his grandmother for care. This judge is delivering the harsh truth that someone needed to say. Who else thinks Mr. King deserved every word of this verbal
Have you been to a doctor who's told you you couldn't have babies?
No, I haven't went to, you're right, man.
Okay, then, so stop saying that foolishness.
Yeah.
I ain't really think I could have none. That's just foolishness, Mr. King. Stop. I need people to start thinking about, Mr. King, listen to me. I don't care who you're talking to. I need people to start thinking about who they are procreating with. That means having babies with before they have. You knew she had a problem with before when you first met her, but you stuck it out. Oh, I still want to be with you. But then you brought a baby into this situation. So I bring you, Mr. King, because you're the one who's not on alcohol.
No. So this is the second time I have been with her. I really thought that she had a job and she had a place to stay the second time I met her. And I'm thinking that maybe she got everything under control. But as I got deeper into the relationship, it was out of control. And I mean, now she got pregnant and I had a daughter by her.
Okay, so Mr. King, what you want me to do? You say she needs help. Okay, y'all
Mhm.
have a child to raise together.
Right.
This is gonna be a complicated situation from now forward. But
Mhm.
Mr. King,
Yeah.
don't tell nobody that foolishness about you ain't think you could have no babies, and so we going around having babies without precautions because, well, you know, I didn't think I could have none. And the second one, where she told me she was on birth control, just foolishness. Y'all, neither one of y'all are prepared to be parents, and y'all bringing babies into the situation. It's
Well,
not funny, Mr. King. You got an infant now.
I'm prepared. I am prepared. Because I know with the risk off, I'm prepared for it. Financially and mentally.
Mr. King,
I
listen to
already been
yourself.
prepared.
You already telling me you working every day, 10 hours a day, so you're not gonna be any help with the baby. But you thought it was
Yeah,
a
I
good
have
idea to
child care.
have one.
Yeah, I do have child care while I work. And then I come home and I take care of the child. I have child care.
Okay, well, that's good. Then hopefully Ms. Costas will be able to take advantage of the child care too. All right, sir, I have heard Ms. Costas has a problem. Let's talk about how we deal with that. All right. So the recommendation in this case is a $500 fine. Does Ms. Costas currently have a job?
You know
Because
about
the
that. She just
address that
had
I've got, is that a apartment complex? What address is that?
okay, it was a hotel, but I had to move because I had to get child care. So I recently moved right after that. You know, when she got incarcerated. I recently moved because I had to have child care. I couldn't go to work and watch the child at the same time.
The
So,
child, Mr. King.
man,
Who's watching the child?
My
I
mother's
can't hear you.
watching the child.
Okay.
Okay, right now my mother's
So
watching the child.
you moved back in with your mom.
Yeah.
Okay. Where were you living before you moved in with your mom?
Oh, it was the hotel. I was
I
staying weekly.
see.
I was staying there
Because I
weekly.
recognize the address. And what I'm telling you is
Right, right.
y'all living in a hotel, you working 10 hours a day. You already recognize that she has an alcohol problem, but y'all decide to have a baby. Don't make a bit of sense. And now your baby is dependent upon your mama wanting to keep her while you work 10 hours a day.
Wait, hold up. Did the defense attorney just reveal that BOTH parties were injured? This changes everything. So Miss Costa also had facial injuries, but told police. She hurt herself by banging her head against a brick pillar and cutting herself on furniture. This sounds like a mutual combat situation that got completely out of hand. The defense is painting a picture where both parties were trying to protect each other from getting arrested by lying to police. But here's what's really messed up. There was so much blood and visible injuries that nobody could hide what really happened. This case is getting more complex by the minute. Was this really a one-sided attack, or were both parties engaging in violence? And if they were both injured, why is only she being charged? The defense attorney is clearly setting up a different narrative than what we heard from Mr. King.
Mr.
Something
King,
doesn't add
be
up
quiet
here.
for me. What's going on with Ms. Costa?
All right.
Your Honor,
Mr. Taylor?
yes, Your Honor, thank you. Well, as the prosecutor indicated in the factual basis or the partial factual basis, there was a domestic issue that resulted in an argument between Mr. King and Ms. Costa. Ms. Costa sustained injuries in this altercation, but hopefully in the attempt to have the police not take both Mr. King and or Ms. Costa into custody, she told the police that nothing had happened to her. When the police went and spoke with Mr. King, he told the police that Ms. Costa had struck him.
Well, he said that the police came and there was blood all over his mouth, so he wasn't gonna really be able to hide that.
The police also observed that Ms. Costa had injuries to her face, but she told the police that she had knocked herself against. What she told the police was she might have cut her face on the furniture, and she was banging her head on the brick pillar beside the outside railing.
Okay, what is it you want me to do, Mr. Taylor?
Well, first of all, there's a 1-month baby involved.
I'm clear.
There's a custody issue going on between Mr. King and Ms. Costa. Mr. King has not legitimized the baby. He doesn't have any parental rights at this time. However, he's using this situation to gain leverage over Ms. Costa. I believe that's why he's here today, although I can't accurately speak to that. Ms. Costa does have a job. She is currently on maternity leave. So
What's
hopefully
her job?
her job is working at Heyday Facial Salon. I believe I have that correct. That's in Atlanta,
Yes, in Midtown.
in Midtown. She's a laundry attendant at that. And my understanding is because she's been on maternity leave, her incarceration hasn't currently affected her job. She will be able to go back to it. She hasn't been able to bond out, so that limits our.
How long has she been in jail?
37 days, Your Honor, and her family lives in Kentucky, so she hasn't been able to arrange a bond here. And certainly Mr. King.
Boom, the defense just dropped a massive legal bombshell that changes this entire case. Did you catch that? Mr. King has not legitimized this baby, which means he has zero parental rights. Yet he's using this criminal case to gain leverage over Ms. Costa. This is strategic manipulation at its finest. The defense is essentially arguing that this man orchestrated this whole court appearance, not for justice, but for custody control. And here's another shocker, Ms. Costa actually. HA has a job at a facial salon in Atlanta and is on maternity leave, which contradicts everything we heard earlier about her being unemployed. She's been stuck in jail for 37 days because her family lives in Kentucky and can't help with bond. While Mr. King, who claims to care so much about their daughter, hasn't lifted a finger to help get the baby's mother out of jail. This is getting messy, and I'm starting to see a completely different picture of who the real manipulator might be in this situation.
While I'm sure he's very concerned about the welfare of his baby, the baby's mother, he hasn't attempted to do anything to help her get out of jail to provide care for a very young infant.
I get that, Mr. Taylor, but it used to be the policy of the jail that the person who was the victim of the crime couldn't post bond. So I'm not sure what he was supposed to do. And these people don't have finances like that. Y'all think that bond is like, oh, well, just reach in your pocket and pull out $1,000. Mr. King looked like he got bond money.
Well, Your Honor,
He already just said he's working 10 hours a day. Ms. Costa is not working. They were living in a hotel. Sometimes I need for y'all to understand the financial circumstances that people are in. You talk about a custody case. Mr. King ain't on no custody. He is survived. This is survived. I got somebody to take care of this child while I'm working 10 hours a day.
Your Honor, Mr. King contacted Ms. Costa and said, you can't come get the baby because you have an order against you having contact with me. To me,
Mr. King, be careful how much law you know, because you're not legally the father of that baby. So let's be clear. There's a lot going on here. That's not my business. So what is my business is she's been charged with battery. She's entering a plea of guilty to battery. Does she have a first offender she wants to use or no?
This judge is schooling everyone in this courtroom right now. She just delivered the most brutal reality check about poverty and the legal system that I've ever heard. She's calling out how people assume everyone can just reach in their pocket and pull out $1,000 for bond when these folks were literally living in a hotel. But here's the most savage part. She just told Mr. King to be careful how much law you know, because you're not legally the father of that baby. Ouch. This judge sees right through the manipulation and is shutting it down hard. She's basically saying, I don't care about your custody drama. I don't care about your relationship issues. My job is to deal with the battery charge. This is judicial efficiency at its finest. She's cutting through all the emotional manipulation and focusing on the facts. Ms. Costa committed battery. She's pleading guilty. Now let's figure out the appropriate sentence. No games, no drama, just justice.
first offender means that if you get all the way through the sentence with no violations of probation, you will not be found guilty. However, if you violate any of the conditions of probation, you will be found guilty, and you are also subject to resentencing, which means that the judge can incarcerate you for the balance of the sentence up to 12 months. Can you take 2 steps to the left, please? Is that something that you wish to do? And have you used a first offender sentence on no? Have you ever had any other misdemeanor charges? Fair?
Yeah, 2 years. The ones on my name was 2 years.
And was it a traffic violation or
You know,
okay. Your Honor, I don't believe Ms. Costa qualifies for the first offender.
Okay, so on the guilty plea, count 1, 12 months to serve, 12 months credit for time served, balance will be probated, fine of $500 will be suspended, 40 hours of community service, and a family violence intervention program class. And she's to have no contact with Lonnie King. Any contact regarding the child has to go through the courts. As the legal parent, she should be able to address that either through the police or through the courts.
And there you have it. Miss Costa gets 12 months probation with time served credit, meaning she'll likely be released soon. But here's the catch. She can have zero contact with Mr. King, and any contact about their daughter has to go through the court system. The judge even waived probation fees for 3 months, showing some compassion for their financial situation. But the most important detail, the judge emphasized that as the legal parent, Miss Costa has rights to address custody through proper legal channels, basically telling Mr. King he can't control this situation anymore. This ruling protects both parties while ensuring their daughter's needs are met through legitimate legal processes rather than manipulation and violence. Miss Costa will need to complete family violence intervention classes and community service, but she's getting a second chance to turn her life around for her daughter's sake.
Otherwise, she's not to have contact with Mr. King.
Your Honor, we would ask if you could waive probation fees for at least the first couple of months until she gets back on.
All right, I'll wait for 3 months. All right, you can go back with the sheriff's office.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Excuse me, Judge,
Yes,
was
12
that
months.
a $500 suspended fine?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Raise your right hand, Mr. Weber.
Hello, ma'am.
Raise your right hands.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. You're before the court on State of Georgia versus Taj Brandon Wedlow. Mr. Wedlow, you have 1, 2, 3 cases before this court. On case 2024 CR 06670, you're charged with battery, family violence. Count 1, battery. Count 2, simple battery, family violence. Count 3, simple battery. Count 4. On the case 2024 CR 06671, you're charged with simple battery, family violence. Count 1, simple battery. Count 2. On the case 2025 CR 00261, you're charged with family violence or ordinance violation. What is your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Judge, on 2024 CR 06670, he'll plead guilty to count 1, battery, family violence. I believe the remaining charges would merge. Case 2024 CR 06671, he will plead guilty to simple battery, family violence. Count 1, I believe count 2 would merge, and it would be a guilty plea on 2025 CR 00261.
By entering these guilty pleas to each of these offenses on each of these 3 cases, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Wait, we're jumping straight into another explosive case, and this one is even more disturbing. Meet Taj Brandon Wedlow, a 27-year-old man who apparently can't stop attacking his own family members. We're talking about 3 separate cases, not 1, not 2, but 3 different incidents of family violence. This isn't a one-time mistake or heat-of-the-moment situation. This is a pattern of repeated violence against the people who should be able to trust him most. The dates span from 2023 to 2025, which means this man has been terrorizing his family for years. What kind of person repeatedly attacks their own father and brother? And what's even more shocking is that all 3 incidents happened at the same location, which tells us this man keeps going back to the scene of his crimes. The judge handled the first case with firm compassion, but something tells me her patience is about to run out with this repeat offender.
You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis.
Yes, Your Honor. In case 2024 CR 06670, this is the first incident, took place on October the 10th, 2023. Officers responded to 8571 Taylor Road, located here in Clayton County, Georgia, in reference to a domestic dispute. When officers arrived on scene, they made contact with Cedric Wetlow, CEDRIC Wetlow, the same as defendant WEDLOWE. He stated that there was a verbal altercation with his son, later identified as the defendant before it turned physical. Officers learned in the course of their investigation that the defendant got upset and punched the victim in his mouth, in which officers was able to take a photo of his mouth and his injuries on his right hand. The defendant's injuries on his right hand, which was consistent with the victim's statement. In case 2025 CR 002.
You skipped one.
Yes, 2024 CR 06671. This incident date, Your Honor, is May 28th, 2024. Officers responded to the same location, 8571 Taylor Road, located here in Clayton County, Georgia, in which officers learned that it was the same victim from the last case, Eric Wetlow. Officers learned during the course of their investigation that there was a verbal altercation when the defendant became physical while punching his father in the face multiple times. There was no injuries in this case.
I'm
sorry, Your Honor.
I didn't say anything.
In case 2025 CR 00261.
This is absolutely sickening. So Taj punched his own father in the mouth so hard that police had to photograph the injuries on both the father's face and Taj's knuckles. We're talking about a 27-year-old man beating up his 51-year-old father. What kind of coward attacks someone who's probably raised him, fed him, and provided for him? The fact that officers photographed injuries on Taj's hand shows this wasn't just a light slap. This was a full-force punch that did serious damage to both parties. And this is just the first case from 2023. We still have 2 more incidents to go through, and I'm betting they only get worse. This man has turned his family home into a war zone, and his elderly father is living in fear of his own son. Family violence is always tragic, but when it's directed at elderly parents, it hits a whole different level of disgusting.
Officers responded to the same incident locations as the previous 2 cases. 8571 Taylor Road, located here in Clayton County, Georgia. Just for the record, Your Honor, the victim is the same victim from the previous 2 cases, Eric Wetlow, which is the defendant's father.
There's 2 separate
Officers learned that there was a family violence protective order. And at that point, the defendant was in violation. Those are the facts of that case, Your Honor. The state's recommendations, my understanding, is as follows. All 3 cases will run concurrent. 12 months to serve, 90 days.
Nope.
Can I just, Judge, I wanted to correct one thing about the factual basis. The 2 cases do not have the same victim. The first case is Eric Widlow, and the other one is the first one is Cedric, I'm sorry, and the second 2.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Right.
And the last 2 is Eric. I do apologize. That is correct.
Judge, and I understand you said no, but I just want to make sure if the state could get the full recommendation out there, because it's not just a balanced suspended sentence. It does have a probation, FVIP, mental health eval components as well.
Okay, let me ask you this. How old is Mr. Wedlow?
Your Honor, I believe he's 28 or 27, if I'm not mistaken. He was born in 1997.
How old is Mr. Cedric Wedlow?
53.
He was when I saw 51. So at the time of this incident in 2023, the father was 51 and the defendant was 26.
Okay, so his father and his brother are the victims in this case, because Eric is his brother, correct?
Yes.
I can have Eric.
Y'all want to do a probation case with somebody who's already violated the terms and conditions of bond. You want to send him to probation to do all of this complicated stuff that requires money and stability, and he can't go back home to his father and his brother. So where y'all figure he gonna base himself while he's doing all this?
Are you kidding me right now? This gets worse. So after punching his father Cedric in the mouth in 2023, Taj came back in May 2024 and punched his brother Eric in the face multiple times. And then, here's where it gets absolutely insane. He violated a protective order by going back to the same location in 2025. This man has terrorized his entire family for 2 years straight. The prosecutor wants to give him probation, but the judge just said nope, and she's absolutely right. How can you put someone on probation when they've already shown they'll violate court orders? This isn't rehabilitation, this is a pattern of escalating family terrorism. The judge is asking the most logical question: if he can't go back home, because he keeps attacking his family, where exactly is he supposed to live while on probation? This case is about to get a reality check that Taj Brandon Wedo will never forget.
Well, I didn't think there was a stay away.
Oh, there's gonna be a stay away. Why would I send him back? He's had 3 incidents at the same, y'all use some common sense. He has 3 incidents at the same location, 2 of which are violence, and 1 of which is he's so hard-headed, he won't even listen to the court that says you're not to go back to that location. Go back to the drawing board.
And Your Honor, I will
This case
notify
will be reset for a week, so for y'all to think about this, because y'all don't know me at all. Been on this bench, 7 years, 8 years, and y'all don't understand that A, you're not going to repeatedly violate the court's orders. B, you're not going to keep going back to the same location. And C, he is not a probation candidate.
And Your Honor, I will speak to Mr. Lynch. I was just communicating the offer that was on the file, and it was given by someone that was above my pay grade. So, but however, I will speak to Mr. Lynch.
This judge is absolutely legendary. She just delivered the most savage judicial smackdown I have ever witnessed. Y'all don't know me at all. I've been on this bench 7 to 8 years. She is not playing games with repeat offenders. She's telling the prosecution and defense attorneys to go back to the drawing board, because their probation recommendation is absolutely ridiculous for someone who has 3 separate incidents at the same location and has already violated court orders. This judge understands what many people don't. You cannot rehabilitate someone who refuses to follow basic court instructions. Taj has shown a clear pattern: attack family, get arrested, violate protective orders. Repeat, the judge is setting boundaries and making it clear that her courtroom will not be a revolving door for violent offenders. She's giving them 1 week to come up with a realistic sentence that actually protects this man's family from further violence. What an absolutely incredible day in Clayton County Court. We witnessed 2 completely different domestic violence cases that highlight the complex realities of family violence in America. In the first case, Miss Amber Costa received 12 months probation for attacking her baby's father during an alcohol-fueled dispute. While both parties showed poor judgment, the court provided a path for rehabilitation through family violence intervention programs and structured contact orders that prioritize their infant daughter's safety. The second case, featuring Taj Brandon Wedo, represents something far more sinister: a pattern of repeated family violence spanning multiple years and victims. This 27-year-old man systematically terrorized his father and brother, showing complete disregard for court orders and protective measures. Judge's decision to reject the probation recommendation sends a clear message that repeat offenders who escalate violence against vulnerable family members will face serious consequences. Both cases demonstrate how domestic violence affects entire family systems, from newborn babies to elderly parents, and how the justice system must balance rehabilitation with public safety. The judge's no-nonsense approach to holding offenders accountable while considering the financial realities of working-class families shows the complexity of modern judicial decision-making. If you found these cases as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button. Share your thoughts in the comments about whether you agree with the judge's decisions, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns. Which case surprised you more, the new mother's alcohol-fueled attack or the repeat family violence offender? Let us know below.